Hey, welcome in. This article is interesting because it shows the technique that the modern left uses all the time, that the identitarians use all the time. And of course, they only see the world as group identities, right? And they seem to be incapable of seeing people as individuals. And so they're constantly talking about community, this community, that community. And they present it as this one homogenous group of people that are all exactly the same, with the same ideas, the same experiences, the same feelings. And of course, this is ridiculous. People aren't just groups. People aren't homogenous. People are different. People are individuals. People are intellectually diverse. Anytime somebody is talking about their community, they're only really talking about themselves, because they can't possibly represent this entire community, because those are all individuals and they don't all think the same. But for some reason in the modern world, certainly in all the institutions and the media, they're allowed to push this fantasy of group identity where everybody is exactly the same. I'm not saying that there's not any common interest, and certainly people can be forced into having a common interest. But that doesn't change the fact that there's a lot of diversity within groups. And you can't just take one person and pretend that they represent exactly what everybody else thinks. But that's what they do. And we'll see this in this article. New York City shrink tells Yale audience she fantasizes about shooting white people in head. So, spoiler alert, this woman's an insane racist. And of course, she's speaking at Yale School of Medicine, which makes perfect sense. So, a New York-based psychiatrist told an audience at the Yale School of Medicine in April that she had fantasies of unloading a revolver into the head of any white person that got in my way. Which I guess is just fine for the Yale School of Medicine. Let's see. Dr. Aruna Kilanani spewed the race-hating virtual remarks, in which she also said she'd walk away from the shooting with a bounce in my step, and that white people make my blood boil and are out of their minds and have been for a long time. Yeah, so I'm the problem, right? I'm the one who's out of his mind. This is totally normal. This is totally normal. And don't forget, this person is a psychiatrist. A psychiatrist. So yeah, I'm sure that she's doing a terrible job. Anyway, audio of the talk was posted on the Substack online platform of former NYT opinion writer and editor Barry Weiss on Friday, along with an interview of Kilanani conducted by writer and podcaster Katie Herzog. So let's see, a flyer promoting the talk and posted online was titled "The Psychopathic Problem of the White Mind," and included learning objectives such as set up white people's absence of empathy towards black rage as a problem, and, quote, understand how white people are psychologically dependent on black rage. Or alternately, I am a freaking lunatic, and how the hell did I become a psychiatrist? I mean, obviously this is just bizarre psychobabble, frankly racist nonsense. Understand how white people are psychologically dependent on black rage. Personally, I try and avoid it. But I don't know. I don't know what everybody else is doing. Let's see. Kilanani opened her remarks by telling the audience, I'm going to say a lot of things, and it will probably provoke a lot of responses. Yeah. And I want you to just maybe observe them in yourself. Because I'm not the crazy one, you are. Or I'm not the psychopath, you are. She then added prayers up for DMX, okay, before discussing what she described as the intense rage and futility people of color purportedly feel when talking to white people about racism. Now, this is where I'm talking about how they see everything as group. And we're expected to believe that this is everybody. This is everybody. This is just an across-the-board problem. Not just for crazy people like herself, but for everybody. Let's see, quote, we are calm, we are giving, to giving, and then when we get angry, they use our responses as confirmation that we're crazy or have emotional problems. It always ends that way. Happens every time. Like a goddamn timer. You can count it down. Yeah, I mean, all she says is that she wants to massacre white people, and then that's used as confirmation that she's crazy, or that she has emotional problems. Yeah, it's white people's fault. Let's see, quote, "Nothing makes me angrier than a white person who tells me not to be angry because they have not seen real anger yet," she said, before talking about how she systematically cut off most of her former white friends around 5 years ago. I'm shocked that she still has any, because I certainly would have systematically cut her off right around the time she started talking about how she wants to shoot me, right? Let's see. She says that she had fantasies of unloading a revolver. Oh, jeez. Okay, you know the story. Burying their body and wiping my bloody hands as I walk away, relatively guiltless, with a bounce in my step. Like I did the world an effing favor. So make sure that you don't take that and use it as confirmation that she's crazy and has emotional problems. Because that would be racist, don't you know? Let's see. Later in the talk, Kilanani claimed that conversing with white people about racial issues was useless because they are at the wrong level of conversation. All white people, all of them. Quote, "White people are out of their minds, and they have been for a long time. White people feel that we are bullying them when we bring up race, or threaten to massacre them, I guess. Let's see. We keep forgetting that directly talking about race is a waste of our breath. We are asking a demented, violent predator who thinks that they are a saint or a superhero to accept responsibility. It ain't gonna happen." And when she says we, she's talking, because she only sees things in terms of group, she's talking about everybody who's not white. And maybe she believes that. I don't know. And, I've often talked about how these people are just screaming into a mirror and how they just can't recognize themselves. We are asking a demented, violent predator. Kind of sounds like somebody, right? Kind of sounds like somebody else. Oh, you, Aruna Kilanani. Let's see. They have 5 holes in their brain. It's like banging your head against a brick wall. Because that makes sense. But anyway, it's important to understand that they see everything as group, and they see themselves as a representative of that group where everybody thinks the exact same as them. Because I think it does have something to do with these insane attitudes, right? With these insane ideas that are coming out. Because if you think everybody in your group is as crazy as you, it gives you license to be crazy. And then you can say things like this. Addressing racism assumes that white people can see and process what we are talking about. They can't. That's why they sound demented. Not you. You're not screaming into a mirror. Oh, no. They don't even know they have a mask on. White people think it's their actual face. We need to get to know the mask. Okay, tell me more. Okay, so this psychiatrist, it's incredible this person is a psychiatrist. She says in her profile on the Independent Doctors of New York website that she has, quote, expertise in treating patients who may be curious about questions around their identity. You see, everything is about identity. That's literally all they can think about. So Yale, for their part, was supposed to release this apparently to the public, but only released it internally, only available to anyone with a school ID. So they're only going to derange their students, I guess. And Kilanani wants this to be made public. She's very proud of what she said. And Yale said in an email to Kilanani, I guess, just explaining why they weren't releasing it publicly, quote, I imagine replacing the words white mind with Asian mind or gay mind as we work towards equity and inclusion and unity. I wonder what impact this presentation will have, the dean wrote. Well, if you changed it to anything else from white mind, of course people will be outraged because there's only one kind of racism that's allowed in polite society now. And this insane psychiatrist said, psychologically, they're actually making a false equivalence, she said. What they're doing psychologically is obliterating the difference between white and Asian. See, because she's an identitarian. She's a group identitarian. And for her, that's impossible. It is impossible for her to see somebody as an individual. And what she's saying here is that if you get rid of that distinction, if you treat people as individuals, if you say that groups aren't just homogenous and everybody is exactly the same, then it's clearly racist. And of course, she's against that. She wants to be racist. So there you go, Yale. These are the kinds of people that Yale has speaking. And you wonder why your kids went insane. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast Radio Baloney. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.